guys, it's Lisa back with another video for you for Lisa Wise Designs, and today we're going to be talking about making an alternative to using a glassine bag. So I'll show you what that is in a second, but this is the project that we just completed. It's called A Countdown to Christmas, and when you open it up, it's got 6 glassine bags inside that we used as pockets and some inserts. So this is what I'm talking about here. If you pick up the kit, the physical kit, you get everything you see here. It includes all your product to make this project, plus the wooden blocks, and that's over on my Etsy account. I'll link that below for you. But just in case you just wanted to pick up the tutorial only, you'll need to know how to make the bags on the inside. So we're going to talk about that today. And I just wanted to mention, if you picked up this tutorial last year, this was the recipe book. It also uses the same size glassine bags. So that might be something else that you might want to try out. So I will link that down below too, the tutorial to this one. The kit for this one is all sold out, but you can still use your own supplies, make you an alternative glassine bag, and finish this album. Okay, let's get started. If you picked up the last tutorial, the Countdown to Christmas, all the cutting guide instructions and how I put it together starts on page 21, but you don't have to have this. I'm going to go through it with you today, and all of the dimensions will be in the description box under this video. Okay, so, but if you do, on page 21, we're going to start at the top, and we're going to cut piece E and piece F. Piece E is 6 inches wide by 7 1/4 tall. And I got this flipped over here. And piece F is 7 inches wide by 7 3/4 tall. Like I said, this will also be in the description box below. So here is our finished glassine bag, or this is an actual glassine bag that's 6 inches wide by 7 3/4 tall, and this is what we're going to mimic. It's going to be this size when we're done, and this is what it's going to look like. I'm making mine out of copy paper, which is 20-pound paper. What you would normally use in an office setting. It's very thin. It's not cardstock. It's actual paper, but it's the closest you can get to making this and make it this thin. But you might want to try it with a variety of different materials like wax paper, because that's kind of what this reminds me of. You hear that crinkle? But it's not exactly wax paper, but it's very similar. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with and make with this. So again, E is 6 inches wide by 7 1/4 tall. F is 7 wide by 7 3/4 tall. So grab your scoreboard. We're going to start with E. So on E, we're going to score the 7 1/4 side. So that means 7 1/4 is going to be across the top of your scoreboard, like so. You're going to grab your embossing tool, whatever you use to emboss, and on the 7 1/4 side, we're going to score at 3/4 of an inch. So not quite an inch, but 3/4 of an inch. Now, if you're using copy paper or thin paper, just go slow and steady. Do it a couple of times, but don't push hard because you will cut your paper, because this is not cardstock. It's just plain paper. It's very thin. So for piece E, that's all we have to do is make a 3/4 of an inch score at the bottom. All right, let's grab piece F. I'm on the middle of page 21 if you're following along on the tutorial. So we're going to score on the 7-inch side. So 7 inches is at the top of my board. We're going to score at 1/2 of an inch, just like so, and 6 1/2 inches. So I'm just going to do it really lightly, but I'm going to do it twice. And then I'm going to go over here to 6 1/2. Uh-oh. Like this. There we go. So basically we've got 1/2 inch on each side of piece F. And then we're going to turn it to the 7 3/4 side. So 7 3/4 is here at the top, and we're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch. Just like that. This is very easy. All you had to do is, all I had to do really is just figure out the measurements to make it the same size as the glassine bag that we made. or that we were using in these projects. So what you're going to do now is you're going to flip over piece F. So now we're on the back of F, and you're going to grab whatever double-sided tape that you want to use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pre-fold my sides in on F. So I'm going to fold them toward the back of F. And now because this paper is so thin, you might have a little issue doing that because the paper is super thin. So I'm going to grab a ruler and I'm going to push that up to my score line to help me make sure that I fold these over correctly. Yeah. Bad eyes. I have to turn around and look at it. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Push this up to the score line and pull them over just like that toward the back of F. And then now I can score this into place. There we go. Now do not fold. Now see, I shouldn't have done that. Now do not fold the bottom of F, just the sides. There we go, that's better. Shouldn't go so quickly. All right, so just the sides I have folded in on F. And now we're going to add tape. I'm using 3/8 tape, 3/8 of an inch, and I'm going to put this tape right on top of those flaps that we just folded inside. So with the flaps folded, I'm putting tape on the two sides, right on the flap. Okay. Like this. And then I'm not folding the bottom of F, I'm leaving it alone, but I'm putting tape along the bottom of piece F. Just like so. I'm not folding it in any way, but I'm putting tape along the bottom of F. So now I have tape on all three sides. I'm just burnishing that down. Ooh, my allergies are bothering me today. Sorry if I sound froggy. Okay, so now we're at the bottom of page 21. All we're going to do is we're going to take piece E and lay it over piece F flush to the bottom like so. And you are going to have this sticking up at the top, and that is what we want. So that's all we're going to do now. So now that we've dry fit it, we're going to take off the tape liner on all three sides. Latte's decided she's hungry. It's pretty early in the morning. She's eating and walking around and throwing her toy up in the air. If you hear something, she's 5 years old and she's still very much a puppy when it comes to some things. She is a morning dog. So then just start in the bottom corner and line this up as best you can, and then line up one side without dropping the bottom or the right side if you're right-handed. If you start on the left side like this, and get this one side lined up, and then you can kind of drop it into place. I literally dropped that, didn't I? There we go. And then just burnish on all those three sides. Okay, so this is the back, and here's the front that says E. So now we have this at the top that we need to trim off. And now we're on page 22 if you're following along. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hand draw a diagonal on top of that flap. So where piece E stops and where the flap shows, I'm just drawing a simple diagonal from the right side all the way to the left side of that flap. And I'll hold it up in the camera to see if that helps you see it. Does not have to be perfect. It's very hard to see this white paper. Let me get a marker because it's not going to matter because I'm going to cut it away. Just like so. Yeah, you can see that much better. So right here on the flap. So then take your scissors, trim this away here. So the only caveat I have about doing it this way is you're going to want to either cut away this little edge that's sticking out here, or you're going to want to glue it down. And since I put my tape all the way to the top, it does have the tape showing, so I'm just going to trim it off. But if you wanted to plan ahead on your next one, you might just want to make a little mark and not go all the way to the top with your paper. But I'm just going to trim this one off. It's just as easy, just like so. Well, it's stuck to my finger. There we go. So now here is our glassine bag, and here is our alternative bag. So the only difference is it's not made out of the same material. It's not translucent, but you can try different materials and make different bags out of different materials if you want to try it, or just go with this. So as you can see, the glassine bag, it's a little easier to see on the back where it was put together. It comes up about 3/4 of an inch, which is why we did that here. So we did not fold on that score line, but you can see there is a score line here at the bottom of E. So once you tape this down into your project, if you're doing the countdown to Christmas, you're going to be able then to fold that just like you did on the glassine bag. I hope that makes sense. The only other thing I would say is if you are making the countdown to Christmas project, we opened up our glassine bags and we put 1/2-inch pieces of paper in here in the bottom to help build that up like this. Because the glassine bag, it doesn't have any tape at the bottom, you can go all the way to the bottom with that. So you may not be able to do that with these. You may have to put it just on the top here, which will be fine, or just skip that step altogether. So I hope this helps some of you. Like I said, the dimensions and the cutting guide part of this piece of our project will be in the description box below. Sorry guys, it's really early in the morning. My brain is not firing on all its cylinders. But if you have any questions, let me know. And I really hope that you enjoyed our last project that we just completed, this countdown to Christmas. I really, really enjoyed the process of making it with you. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you again here soon with a travel project. Bye guys.